Okay, our system allows you to change the lead status options for your leads. Much like adding custom data fields for your lead details, you can actually change what we have by default. These are the fields that or drop-down options we have by default for status. And so you can actually change this out to whatever you want. And to do that, you're going to go over to Controls, you're going to click on Templates, you're going to click on Data and Data Fields. So as you can see, we already set up the user profile custom fields. We've set up some custom fields for lead data. And now we're going to change out the default option for lead disposition. And so to do that, you're going to click on Create Data Field. And so here you have an option, just like all the other videos that we've done for custom fields, but the name is irrelevant in this case because this is always going to be lead disposition. So you can just name it lead disposition or lead status or whatever. Let's just name it lead status. The type you're going to choose is lead disposition. That's what controls that status on the drop down. So that's the disposition of lead, and you'll see the other options of type are completely removed. Reason for that is always going to be a drop down option, and the name is always going to be the status name or lead disposition on the filters and things like that. What you're controlling is the options. So this name is just your internal name. So I'm naming it lead status just so I know what it is. And also workspaces. So I mentioned in the other data field types, if I want to change the lead status based on my workspaces, maybe I have different statuses that I want to configure on a workspace. That's just configuration for myself. It has nothing to do with my users. If I want to change the lead status for my users account, that's where you're not going to assign a workspace and you're going to apply a user role. So in this case, I want my lead statuses to be different for my users. And so I'm going to go ahead and put lead status, select lead disposition, and I'm going to hit add. Once you add that, you can then go into your lead status options. And here you have your actual options and you have your role access. So these are the only two options that matter. So for this, I'm going to change my support user role and their statuses to be different. And I am going to add in, let's just say left voicemail. Maybe I want second option here. This can be whatever you want. And so third option. So instead of our default options, you have any options you want to create and create as many as you want. Once you get to the fifth option, you can hit this icon here and it'll continue to add as many options. This is automatically saving. So at this point, all of the lead statuses have changed for this support user role. So when they go in and make phone calls and select their status, it's now seeing those. And so to see it, again, this doesn't do anything for your personal setup. This is just setting up for support user roles. So if I go into my users and let me go into that support user role and let me go into leads and let me go into this lead status here. So you'll see under here that I have new status, which by the way is always set as new. It just means it's a new lead. But now you have left voicemail, second option here, third option here, last chance. So I can change this to third option and everything from my status timeline is going to be associated with that option. Now in my leads view for this user, if I click on filter, I have all those different options. So I can select that if I choose. Left voicemail, I'm not sure what option I choose for that. Oh, third option, here we go, filter. So I'm going to select third option. And so now my lead's being filtered by my custom options. Again, these custom options are associated with this user role. So any users that you have associated with this, so in the previous video, as I talked about, different agent types, I use that example a lot. You may have different statuses based on user roles. And that's where it comes in handy to associate your custom leads status or disposition with an actual user role. If you're doing it for yourself, you're going to associate it with your workspace. So as you switch through workspaces, your options are different.